Welcome, dreamers. Happy Saturday. We hope everybody had an amazing week and is looking forward to Halloween on Monday. In our last two videos, we made a fall farmhouse build full of many amazing things. We first built a fall farmhouse, then we built a pumpkin patch, and then we built a bunch of farm stands and a corn maze. It became a fully functional fall attraction. Today, we're gonna continue the Halloweek builds, however, we're gonna go in a bit of a different direction. Before we do that though, just wanna remind you all that DreamWorld is available in early access right now. If you go down to the description, there'll be a link to DreamWorld's website, where you can get our free trial to play the game, and then if you like what you play and like what you see in today's video, feel free to buy the game in early access. Today's build though. Today's Halloweek build is going to be a crypt theme, a spooky crypt. Our last two videos were bright and fun, and since, Halloween's about spooky season, let's get a bit of a spooky build in this time. So without further ado, let's get to building our crypt in DreamWorld. Farming for today's video is going to be really quick and easy. I just need to get a little bit more of stone and shale because we're going to be making a majority of the build out of black brick. I have a little bit of black brick left over from my last video. However, it's not that much, and because I know this crypt is going to be pretty big, I want to farm a lot more. So now that I have enough stone and shale, let's put some of that towards crafting more black brick. I'll save a little bit left over to actually build the basement of the crypt because I want to use mountain stone for that, but we'll still be able to make a good amount of black brick. As far as picking out the spot to build this crypt, I wanted to make it kind of near the farmhouse. I found this big open field with a creepy oak forest in the background, and it was kind of flat, so I figured it'd be really good to do my terraforming in. Let's get right to terraforming though. So for this crypt build, I want to build it into the ground. Normally crypts have the above ground small buildings that, have the interior goes down into the ground where you see, most of the gravestones and bones are down, under the ground. That's exactly what I'm gonna wanna go for today. I'm gonna dig a pretty big hole that's gonna have multiple layers because I wanna have multiple layers to the build. I'll build staircases going down as the hole gets deeper and deeper the further you go into the crypt. You'll notice that I'll be both digging and tilling the ground. I'll be tilling the ground where I want to have the ground be, similar height, and then digging it out where I want it to get deeper and deeper. It'll be a mix of tilling and terraforming. For parts of the hole like this part, I'm gonna use tilling to actually create a nice even slope. That goes down into the deeper parts of the hole. I want the ground to take an easy transition between layers that'll make it easy to put in some staircases and know where to put the staircases. Okay, now that we have our hole for the most part done without making minor adjustments, let's start building. We farmed a ton of black bricks, so we're gonna use that for the actual top of the crypt. This will be the exterior foundation pieces, the walls, and the roofing of the build. Basically, everything on top that you can see from the outside will be made of black brick. Now that the foundations are down, I'm going to use fencing to fill in the spaces, below the foundation pieces. I don't want you to be able to see under the foundations in this build, mainly because I didn't perfectly flatten out the ground. I'm then gonna start making minor adjustments to the ground as I'm gonna have to put some more foundation pieces down. But as you can see, the ground isn't perfectly flat. So as I'm putting down foundation pieces, I'll have to remove them, adjust the ground, and then put them back. It's a bit of a process, but it's nothing that we can't handle. It's all gonna be worth it in the end when we have a perfect looking crypt. Okay, now that we've adjusted the ground through more tilling and terraforming, let's put down the next layer of foundations. I'm using the fencing that filled in the foundation gaps as snap points, and it's working pretty well. Let's now go to the outside of the build. We're going to use the same technique with the fences, except with walls now, to fill in the foundation gaps on the outside of the build. Because again, I don't want you to be able to see under the foundation pieces, as I didn't perfectly level the ground here. And also, some of my foundation is floating, so I want to make sure that that connects with the ground. All right, we have that done. So now we're gonna go around the outside of the build and put down some door frames as well as some windows. We'll use lots of windows so you can see into the crypt, and also the door frames are gonna be the entry points of the crypt. We're not gonna use any doors though, because I want people to be able to go in and out of this crypt as they want. This is a community build, not a personal build. We have all our walls up, so we're gonna go back to the interior of the base and fill in more foundation gaps, this time using full walls. And time for the roof. We're gonna put black brick roofing on top of this build. I'm going with black brick because I want, the crypt to look more dark, and especially at night, I think the black brick is gonna make it look more dark and ominous and spooky. When you think of crypt, you don't think bright and yellow and sunshine and rainbows. So for me, black brick fits the best here. To finish up the roof, we're gonna put some more windows in to fill in the gaps left behind with the roof. We're gonna completely seal this roof off and only have the windows as kind of an open concept to it. Let's then put in some staircases to the door frames that lead inside. This way you can easily walk up and into the crypt. You don't want to have to jump in every single time. Now let's get to the next layer of the build. This is where we're going to switch to mountain stone. Not only is mountain stone cheaper than black brick, but when I think of the bottom chambers of crypts, I think of cold stone and like a cold environment. So that's what I'm going to go for there. We're going to use the foundations as snap points to actually fill in walls of the crypt. So not only are we filling in, the gaps under the foundations, but we're also making the walls, of the inside of the crypt. We're killing two birds with one stone. We're also going to put some mountain stone stairs leading down from the black brick. This is going to be where the transition from black brick to mountain stone happens. As we build deeper into the crypt, though, we're gonna have to do more terraforming to make sure the soil doesn't poke out, over the build pieces too much. I'm okay with it doing a little bit because, that'll give the impression of a old, ruined, spooky crypt, but I don't want it to be too much. So as we're placing down our build pieces, we're gonna have to, remove them temporarily and adjust the ground, here and there. The good news is with the foundation pieces, I can be a little bit more lax because the foundation pieces cover up the ground underneath them when you place them down, so I don't gotta perfectly level the ground here. Really what we're looking for is that no soil pokes above our foundation pieces. The stairs, we can have a little bit of that. Now that we built down to the bottom chamber of the crypt, though, I want to make sure the ground is completely level with these staircases. This will be the final place that we're going to build down to, so the foundation level here is going to be the final level of the build. All right, the ground is where I want it. Let's start building the final chamber of our crypt. I'm gonna add some cylindrical rooms on the sides of this main foundation area, just to get a little more fancy with the build down here, and also to give myself a little bit more room. Let's now put the walls on this inner chamber now that the floors are done. For the walls, I don't need them to be perfect. They can go into the ground as far as I care. That'll just contribute to the old ancient, dilapidated, abandoned crypt feel. But let's do a quick walkthrough of what we have so far. I think what we got so far, we got a good vision going. We just gotta add a couple more things, some decoration and some lighting, and we're good to go. Where we're really gonna get creative though is in this bottom chamber. That's where we're gonna put more of the spooky stuff like gravestones and, you know, zombie hands. But before we do that, we have to do more renovating upstairs. Let's put a black brick staircase going from the very top layer down to the second layer. We kinda need that to get down to the bottom chamber. We're also now gonna go and put the inner walls around the base. I'm gonna use door frames all around this, you know, top layer. This will give you the most open and clear view of the interior of the base as you walk around the top layer walkway. I'll also put a quick inner roof down around all those door frames. Where the black brick meets the stone part of the build, I'm gonna put some stone door frames down. This will signify the entrance to the inner part of the crypt. And then we're gonna connect it to the roof with these pillars. This will mock stability as well as create some decorative effect. Going down further into the chamber of the crypt, we're gonna add some more pillars as well. Now at the very back wall, the bottom of the crypt, I'm gonna use these blocks, the same building asset we used to make the wheat maze. I'm gonna make a shelving area, kind of also like an outcrop from the wall, where I'm gonna put some building assets. You'll see what I mean. And to finish off the structural part of this inner chamber, we're gonna put down more stone pillars. Lots of pillars, lots of decorative flair. And we'll also throw some more door frames at the bottom of the staircase. I want this to feel more secretive and closed off, but I won't put doors on it because I want, again, people to be able to access this. Okay, now for the lighting. For the top of the build, I was almost gonna go with blueberries or purple raw crystal, but I saw how red brick lighting looked, and I thought I had to go for that for the top of the build. For the back of the build, though, we will go with purple crystal lighting. And for the inner chamber, we're gonna go with green crystal lighting. Now for the few final touches down here in the inner chamber, we're gonna put some gravestones on the back little shelving area that we made. It is a crypt after all, and you know, there's gotta be a little bit of spookiness down here, so some mossy gravestones are gonna do just that. In those cylinder rooms on the sides of the inner chamber, we're gonna put some zombie hands. Some creepy little zombie hands, you know, gotta add to the spookiness. And I think this will do just that. I'm not gonna say the dead are rising from their graves, but that might be happening here. There you have it though, that is our spooky Halloweek crypt build. Using just black brick and mountain stone for the most part, we're able to make a fully functional crypt, you know, a nice exterior design with a nice interior chamber. We perfectly utilized terraforming to have, you know, a nice little hole to work off of. And overall, I think it turned out pretty good. Thank you all so much for watching another video though. Reminder that if you like what you see in today's video, go down to the description where there'll be a link to DreamWorld's website. You can get our free trial or purchase the game in early access. It's up to you. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see videos similar to this one. And as always, have an amazing Saturday. We'll see you later, dreamers, in the next video. Bye-bye.